Today we're going to do a Black Rock creamy brown partial mash brew. Now I haven't done one of these before, it's a new recipe, I'm going to give it a blast because that's what brewing's all about, right? So I decided we're going to do a real simple one, so using minimal gear. This is what minimal gear looks like when I brew. Yeah, let's give it a blast. Let's talk about the ingredients. Alright, so ingredients that are going into this. So I based this around the Black Rock Creamy Brown, which is pretty much, I think, pale malts, or might be Pilsner malt, and then a whole bunch of caramel malts and a tiny little bit of chocolate malts. So I'm thinking, oh, what does that do? And it says, oh, it's done for stouts and porters. So we're going to do a milk stout, because I had some lactose kicking around. So and milk stouts are awesome, by the way. So, you know, why wouldn't you want to brew one of those? So here's lactose, chocolate malt, caramel malt, pale malt, and then here we've got some flaked barley, and then the black stuff we've got roast barley and Gladfield roast wheat, which is like roast barley, but it's not quite as harsh. And I chucked in another kg, I think, of ale malt as well, Gladfield ale malt, just to convert the barley. That's what you need. You need some actual base malt in there as well. So that's my malts. This is going to give a sort of a 1057 beer is what we're aiming for. Yeast, I'm recycling from a previous batch. We get WLP002. It's the English Ale yeast. It's got a fairly low attenuation, so it should come out quite creamy and thick, which fits in nicely with creamy brown. Now this is recycled from a previous batch, and that saves like $18 every time I do that, so yeah, it's ace. This is pretty healthy yeast. This is going to go off like a rocket once we pitch this one. Then we got the hops. There's only 50 grams of hops in this recipe. I've designed it around Willamette, but I don't think I've got enough Willamette, so I've got some EKG, which I scored from one of the commercial breweries. I think a lot of people will know where this came from. It's about 3 years old, so I'm going to get rid of it, but I don't want to brew just with this stale EKG. I want to put a bit of fresh stuff in as well, so I'm kind of going to use as much of this as I've got and then top it up with the stale stuff. Hopefully get rid of that. And then the other ingredient, of course, is water. So I've got 18 litres of water, brought up to mash temperature, ready to go. And I've got some water salts, which is 2 grams each of gypsum and calcium chloride, which just gives it a bit more bodied, a bit more mineral profile. This is a small batch. This is a 15 litre batch today. And the main reason for that is because that's what one can is going to do. And also because that's what a CORNY keg can take. That's a 19 litre fermenter. It won't take a standard 23 litre size batch. I've actually got 2 cans of this stuff here, but if this goes pear-shaped, then I won't have about another crack, or if it goes out good, I want to be able to refine it and make it even better. Alright, so it's the next morning, day after brew day. I just come to check on my brew. So I've got the temperature probe taped to the side of the fermenter, and then I've got my temperature controller, homemade one down there. And I set this for 19 degrees, and you can see it's 16.1, so it's a little bit cold. And it's like, oh yeah, I forgot to wrap the heat belt around the side of the fermenter, so that's still on the fermenter from the previous batch. So yeah, that was clever, Harvey. Well done. However, you can see there's a little bit of pressure on the dial. It's exactly the amount of pressure I'm looking for, so fermentation is underway. So there's no real big deal. Excuse me, having it start off a little bit cold, so I'm just going to stick the heat belt on now, and we should be cranking.